And joining me now in the studio is an expert on Turkey, Ali Kazancigil. Hello, thank you very much for coming in. First of all, if we could just backtrack a little bit, why is it that Fethullah Gulen ended up leaving Turkey in the first place?
Well, this was in 1999. He was pursued and persecuted by the army, which at that time was very influential in the political arena. Fortunately, now the army has been expelled from the politics. But it is interesting to see that two powers in Turkey attack one after the other this movement. First the army, and now the Islamic government, conservative government. Erdogan was an ally of Gulen. They were together because initially Erdogan was claiming that his party was a conservative party, but a democratic one, and respecting the rule of law, democracy, secularism, etc. And Gulen supported this. He started to criticize Erdogan towards 2009-2010 when Erdogan started his authoritarian sort of direction. The first real clash was this humanitarian flotilla which was going to Gaza. This was organized by an Islamic and Turkish NGO, but there were Scandinavians, Greeks, Spaniards. It was an international movement. But the Israelis attacked this flotilla, and some 9 Turkish humanitarians were killed. And then, at that moment, Gulen very fiercely and publicly accused Erdogan for having done this movement without negotiating with the Israeli government. And so, and then, of course, the relations between Erdogan and Gulen worsened. And the real break happened in December 2013 when some Gulenist elements in state, in justice and police, etc., revealed to the society an enormous corruption scandal. And Erdogan's family was involved in it. And some ministers were involved. And from then on, Erdogan declared that this is a terrorist organization. It has to be finished and destroyed.
So when you say Gulenist elements, just how influential is he still nowadays in
No,
Turkey?
they are influential because, first of all, it's not a structured organization. Gulen influences his networks through his ideas.
What are his main objectives?
But the objective is, they call them service organization. They serve the society, particularly through education. Gulen's slogan is first the education, first the school, and then the mosque. And it's interesting, the relations between Gulen and the Jesuits in France and elsewhere are excellent, because Jesuits also give the priority to education. So, and Gulen movement is influential because their members are trained in Gulen schools, which are very good quality secular schools, and they exist in some 140 countries, not only in Turkey, 140 countries, and there are about 2,000 schools, Gulen schools. There's even one in France. So they are very capable, intellectually very strong. So they are very. So therefore they are present in the state, in business, etc. So
but considering
they're influential.
What we're seeing happening in Turkey right now, we've just had the Prime Minister say that he's soon going to be on his way out. Turkey's president really consolidating his power. Does that mean that Gulen hasn't managed at all to really combat Erdogan and to stop his advance towards authoritarianism?
No, he never tried that, because this is not a political party. It's a sort of a civil society movement, focusing on education, on culture, and of course on religion. And at the end of the day, the importance of the Gulen movement is that it is modernizing the Turkish Islam. This is because his ideology or his theological ideas are close to Sufism. Sufism is a tendency, a liberal tendency of Islam, and therefore it's a very interesting movement from that point of view. I mean, I analyze this from an anthropological and sociological point of view, and I think the Gulen movement cannot resist, of course, the Turkish state and Erdogan, but they play a positive role in the society.
Any chance we might see him go back to Turkey in the foreseeable?
Not as long as Erdogan is in power. And the clash between Erdogan and Davutoğlu is very typical of what Erdogan is becoming. I mean, he's a paranoid dictator, autocrat. And since Davutoğlu negotiated with Merkel and the European Union successfully this deal, and he's probably he doesn't support that another person than himself is in front of the media, etc. It's as simple as that, and shows the sorry state in which the Turkish state and Turkish democracy.
I'm sorry to finish
because
on such
of Erdogan.
A negative note, but we've
Very
run
negative.
out of time.
Well, unfortunately.
Thank you very much for your analysis and your time, Ali Kazancigil.
Thank you for inviting me.